We have been absorbing a lot of information, and hopefully we've been keeping you engaged. We have come to one of the last chapters in your journey to become a DDM administrator and using DDM. This chapter will focus on server maintenance. In our chapter of alerts and system monitoring, we talked about certain system alerts that came up in gray. Well, backing up the system after a change in the configuration was one of them. Let's take a look at how to do this. So what exactly happens when backing up the system configuration? Here's what the file includes. You'll find domain names and credentials, device enrollment info, user and role information, and dashboard alerts. In order to download the system configuration, go to Settings, Updates and System Information. There you will find the download option for the system configuration. It's downloaded as a TGZ file and can only be done by the site administrator. The backup process doesn't download the entire drive, but rather a compressed folder for all the valid information required to bring the DDM back to its current state if that ever becomes a need. Backing up periodically or whenever there are system changes is a good practice. When you save a configuration, remember this doesn't act as a preset for your specific device. For example, subscriptions. You can use the Dante presets in Dante Controller for this, which is done on a per domain basis. The Save Configuration option is used to save the DDM configuration, all DDM related settings. This is useful for a wide range of things from virtualization platform or server hardware failures to routine upgrades and maintenance. To restore a DDM server from a saved configuration, you will need to start with a fresh installation. Note that you cannot restore a saved configuration once DDM has been fully installed. Now would be a good time to go back and review our chapter on DDM installation. Once you navigate to the DDM using your web browser, you will need to accept the agreement. The next screen will ask for the type of installation you are doing. There is an option called Restore Configuration. Browse and upload the config file that you have downloaded. You should be able to log in with the same credentials that you had in your previous DDM deployment. You will need to re-enter the DDM license key, and once that is authorized, you are good to go. So remember in our last step we re-enter our product key? Well, the hope was that key would have been deauthorized prior to redeploying a DDM server. Because as with all product keys, DDM licenses are uniquely associated with an individual system. Let's take a look at deauthorizing a DDM server. There are quite a few scenarios where deauthorizing the server may need to be a part of the deployment process. Reasons could include a change in the underlying hardware, upgrades, or any infrastructure changes. To deauthorize Dante Domain Manager, go to Settings and then License Management. If you are running a standalone DDM server, you will see the current license for DDM and the deactivate button in front of it. But if you are in high availability mode like I am, you will need to disband the cluster first. Let's give it a try. And after a couple of minutes, we will be able to access the DDM again using the active or primary server's original DNS or its IP address. We should be able to deactivate this license by going to Settings and then License Management. Now, this process may run into challenges because of issues in the field or deployment. If you encounter any errors during the authorization process, which includes messages like the activation limit has been reached for standalone nodes, please reach out to our support team and they will be able to assist. There are also scenarios where the hardware fails and there was no opportunity to deauthorize the system. While the impact of these things can be minimized through planning, we still realize that there may be a need to escalate, and that is when support can step in. When your DDM is running into issues, a critical piece of information that is diagnostically helpful to the support team is the system log. These logs can be found in the same section where we did the backups under Settings, Updates, and System Information. Click on the download button to save a zip file with all the current DDM system information. And as a reminder, this requires site administrator privilege. Updates are an important part of any software platform. Our teams are constantly working on enhancing the functionality and features of all our solutions. This also means that a platform like DDM will need to be updated to capture those newer features and incorporate security fixes as they arise. Please pay attention to our informational emails and our website where we announce updates as they happen. You could also navigate to Updates and System Information under Settings to check for updates. The system will display if you have any update available. Because this is a server, you may need to plan the update process to minimize any disruptions. And as a reminder, you will not be able to install updates in the HA mode. You will need to disband the cluster first, update each instance, and then rebuild the cluster. When you purchase our perpetual DDM license, the first year includes all the updates, support, and maintenance services you may require. After that period, it is recommended that you renew your support and maintenance to keep reaping the benefits of the platform. The support and maintenance renewal costs are only a fraction of the cost. If you go to the Settings License Management page and click the Refresh button, you will be able to update your service and maintenance plan once you've purchased a renewal. That process, of course, will require internet connectivity to reach out to our servers in order to update your new expiration date. Also know that Audinate is constantly improving and simplifying the purchase process. Please contact your local Audinate sales rep for the newest information on pricing options, features, etc. In the DDM installation chapter, we talked about TLS certificates. Let's talk about this in a little more detail. Transport Layer Security, or TLS, is a protocol that establishes an encrypted session between two devices. It verifies the identity of the server and prevents hackers from intercepting any data. TLS allows users to securely transmit sensitive data when using the HTTPS protocol. Any website without a secure TLS SSL certificate will show a not secure message in the browser address bar. The only way to fix a not secure message in your website is by installing a TLS SSL certificate. These certificates are usually issued by trusted certificate authorities, like DigiCert or Entrust, but there are other ways of creating this. Navigating to network security in settings is how you can go about uploading the certificates. Work with your IT network admin to do this. We include this as part of server maintenance because it is a good practice to ensure security and integrity when communicating with the DDM. Another interesting feature you have inside Antonomy Manager is the Network Diagnostics tool. This tool is very useful in identifying network problems. Just go to Settings, Network and Security, and then in the Network section, you run the diagnostics. The first piece of information from the tool is about the system. We get information about IP addressing, subnet mask, and so on. The following section is about test results and can each give you valuable insight into your managed Dante network. Please refer to our DDM manual and the section on network diagnostic results for a detailed look into results and potential inferences. By the way, the diagnostic tool can also be initialized from the appliance menu. With that, we come to the end of our chapter on server maintenance.